Welcome to Toffee TV. This video is brought to you in association with OneFootball's app. OneFootball's app is a free app you can download straight onto your phone and get all the latest transfer rumours from around the world, all the transfer stories as they break. They also, on the app, you get the latest scores, the latest stats for all of the games as well. So download it, it's brilliant. I've got it on my phone. OneFootball have done some videos with us. Absolutely brilliant app. And the best thing about it, I guess, is that you can have a direct feed to the club, to your club. So obviously Everton is on mine and will be probably for the majority of people watching this. And you get all the latest Everton rumours, the stories, the breaking stuff, all on there. There's videos, Everton videos as well. So just go and download the app. The link is in the description. It's well worth it. It's a great app. And go and do it now, because why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
So we thought we'd have a little chat about the players leaving and the players who are staying, what kind of futures they have at Everton Football Club, if any. Let's start with the players who have left the club. And first of all, I want to start with Luke Garbutt, right? Because we've seen Carlo's press conference, right? And I do genuinely feel sorry for the lad, because the lad signed when he was 16 years of age from Leeds. Anyone who remembers at the time, there was a lot of issues with the signing. Leeds, I think it was Ken Bates, wasn't he? Ken Bates? Yeah. Said he would never ever deal with Everton. And funny enough, that may have led to us not signing Fabian Delph the first time. There was a lot of talk of that when he went to Villa, that it was because of that. Luke Garbutt obviously was a young lad, great left foot, worked his way through the traditional channels of coming into the first team. And he broke into the team. Well, I said he broke into the squad, when around Martinez's first season, second season, started to look like he could be the successor to Leighton Baines long term. Played a couple of games, certainly the Wolfsburg game away, where he was brilliant that night. Set piece delivery was fantastic. But I always remember the next game against Spurs, he was left out, and that was sort of like the way it was for him. The next summer, he was given a 5-year contract, the one that has ended today, and he was sent on loan to Fulham, where he broke his leg. Now, and that, this is where I feel genuinely sorry for the lad, because I think he had talent, I think he had something about him, but I think he was mismanaged by Roberto Martinez, and he's never ever fulfilled his potential. I don't know if he was ever given a correct career pathway. I don't know. Sure, some of it, of course, is down to the player. I think the player is maybe somewhere has fallen out of love with football, because he's been getting paid money and he's not really that bothered. He's gone on loans, etc. But what are your thoughts on this player who's now leaving? Who's now 27?
27 years of age.
Yeah.
Qualify for a testimonial. Been here 11 years. Disappointed the way it went.
Yeah.
Because you're right, at one time it looked like he would become a first team regular. I think the issue we had was that Baines was still playing brilliantly. Baines was only, I think, 29 or something when he first got 29, 30, but still absolutely brilliant. I mean, Baines is still in the first team now, first team squad now, so that shows you how good Baines has been. So I think there was no real... You're looking at him at 29, remembering how good Baines was. No matter how good Garbutt was, he wasn't Austin Baines.
No.
But he should have been someone who was used within the squad, whether that was as a left-sided midfield player at times. It's not like Everton have done, we've had amazing players on the left. Pienaar was our best, and that was around the time Pienaar was picking up injuries anyway, if I remember rightly. It was Martinez, really. Martinez cocked him up, really. There's no question about it. He's done that for quite a few players, but Garbutt, I mean, the big thing, I've seen Luke talking about this actually today, saying maybe believed a little bit of the hype about him at the time. There was talks, Liverpool wanted him, really wanted him when we were trying to get him to re-sign that 5-year deal. as he was coming to the end. But he'd have had no guarantee they got in Liverpool at that time either, but Brendan Rodgers really liked him.
Yeah.
And, you know, we offered him a deal to stave off a couple of other clubs as well. We gave him a big contract. But he was planning to go to... There was a deal in place for him to join Bournemouth, who had just been promoted. And I think that would have been a great deal for him. I think it'd have been a good signing for him. Eddie Howe, boy, they play football and stuff. But what happened was they got offered Tyrone Mings and decided to go permanent with Mings because, obviously, rather than just take a loan player.
Yeah.
And once they paid, I'm sure they paid something like 8 million for Mings, who is now a centre-back. They took him instead. And that kind of left Garbutt up in the air. And it was mad anyway because he went to Fulham, but Mings got injured. Done his cruciate in immediately or got an injury. He was out anyway for the season or for a long period. Garbutt went to Fulham and got an injury and was out for the season after a few games. So that, from then on, his career's only gone one way, and the loan moves haven't worked out. The biggest indicator for me, the biggest disappointment, if you like, with Garbutt since that thing was when Allardyce was here. Everton never registered them as a left-back. Yeah. And we ended up playing Cuco Martina.
Well, it was in the first half of the season, wasn't it? Under Koeman. We never registered him to
sorry,
play. He could have played.
We could have done him in January and we didn't.
But he could have played in. He could have played in Europe as a backup to Baines.
Sorry, yeah.
Baines and then Baines gets injured in the November. He's not registered to play, and so
Southampton got injured.
Yeah, Southampton, and so Cuco Martina comes in. Baines missed most of the season.
Yeah, he was out for months, wasn't he?
I think he maybe came back around February, didn't he?
Yeah, for March, yeah.
Yeah. He misses most of the season. Cuco Martina's playing left back and is not very good. And yet there's a kid there who's doing nothing, kicking his heels, and wasn't even given a chance. And I understand that at the time people were saying, "Oh, he's not clear, he's not good enough." People don't think he's good enough, but to not even have that backup, not even to have that insurance policy of, well, he's the only other left back we've got on the books because he was. Oviedo had left at that point. And I think that's, again, short-sightedness of the club to not go, you know, there's a kid there on X amount of money with X amount of years left on his contract. Just throw him in the squad and see what happens when you've got other players who are registered to play who are absolutely garbage.
To me, he should have been put in January into the squad. Okay, we can't do anything about the fact that he didn't. You know, Koeman, that summer we bought 107 number 10s. So, you know, and they quite clearly took up the 25-man squad. But it was in that January when Martina, you know, he done his best, but he wasn't very good. And you need someone natural left foot. And Garbutt, I think, at that time, if I remember rightly, was playing in the 23s and banging free kicks in and doing Unzet said he's doing really well.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
And it would have given us some balance on that left. And that would have been the moment to really try him. And once that came and went, it was over then. Yeah. It was over. And I think he went to Oxford and he done well. They really liked him. And then obviously he's been at Ipswich and they really like him and he's done well. But 27, you know, his career's been, you'd say, ruined by Everton, really, the way it's worked out. He's got a part to play as well, of course, but 27
it's come and gone.
Contracts, it's just... I look at Matty Pennington at Hull, who's 24 or 25 or something, or 23, 24, and you think it's another lad who needs to just get away and get a career going because they're sitting around for too long.
You're only potential for a little bit, aren't you? Going back to the Baines thing, though, what I would say is, what makes me laugh most about this, though, is that Martinez and his whole spiel about, you know, I took Baines to watch Philip Lahm play, you know, at Old Trafford against Man United because I want to move him inside. Yeah. But then this kid. Now he might have said, in the end, he might have said, I don't think this kid's good enough to replace him. But it was the whole thing of, I'm going to move him inside, and that's what made me laugh because I think did Garbutt play both legs against Wolfsburg, and he was good in both of them. And he had something.
And I'm sure he played against Lille at home and set a goal up.
His set pieces were brilliant. I mean, I remember people saying at the time, he's like a mini Baines. He's a replacement for Baines. And you just think if things had gone slightly different. I know, listen, I don't think he was a great defender.
No.
By any stretch of the imagination.
That's why I had to play them ahead of Baines.
I think he was good going forward, and I think he was good at set pieces. But I think, like we just said there, it's the plan. The plan just wasn't there for him, and yeah, I just think they could have worked together. And Baines, who was starting to pick up the odd injury, this lad could have come in for him, and as you said, or they could have moved him in front of him, or Baines could have played, even tried a couple of games in centre midfield. Then you'd have a genuine left back to.
You might have one now that could be a backup to Luca Dean. If he'd been in the squad, if Baines goes, if Leighton Baines doesn't sign the 12-month contract extension, and the longer it goes on, the more you worry that it's not going to happen. Everton are going to be left without a left back.
There you go. So Luke Garbutt,
But good luck to Luke wherever he comes. Sure, he'll have offers because he's done well at Ipswich. They want to keep him.
The other two players, Cuco Martina, who is the... You can say it loud than
worst player I've ever seen play for them.
Player.
And I've seen a lot of bad Everton players. For me, and I know people will object to that because he's out of position, but I'm taking him on what I witnessed out of position. Even when he played right back, he wasn't very good, let's be honest, but left back, he was horrific. You shouldn't be a professional footballer that can't use both feet. I'm sorry, you shouldn't be able to turn back when you get the ball. And there was so many games that we struggled in because when we'd give him the ball on a quick break, he'd stop and turn on and pass it back, and he just wasn't very good. I'm not saying he didn't train hard, and I'm not saying anything.
But another one, he got 3 years from Ronald Koeman. I don't know what's gone on there, but he's given 3 years, and obviously he went to Feyenoord on loan, didn't he? Looked like that could have been his out.
There was talk like that he was going to...
And I know he's been on the bench a little bit recently with the 7 subs
Numbers.
and everything, with 9 subs, sorry. But no, awful signing, awful player. Bye.
There's not much. What
No,
can
you
say?
can't. He was. No, what? Right. The player can't help being what he is, but the manager can help signing him. And for some reason, and I just remember at the time, Southampton fans just laughing at how bad he was and that they were getting rid of him. And he was like lived off that goal against Arsenal.
Was a good goal.
It was a good goal, but he was terrible. And the other one that's left today is Oumar Niasse.
The Prince.
The sweet Prince has finally left. Again, what can you say? This is a player who... Roberto Martinez signed him instead of signing some other quality players. And it's just baffling that we paid $13.5 million for a player who's playing in the Russian league that was basically given Player of the Year by some lad in his bedroom doing an online poll, and yet Roberto twisted it into he'd won the Russian Player of the Year, which he never did. It was a load of nonsense. I don't even know where Roberto Martinez got that from, but it was a load of nonsense.
He'd seen the poll, hadn't he? He'd won some kind of award, but it was probably like a
Twitter poll.
Yeah, well, there you go. So they obviously heard that, didn't he? I mean, we spoke to people at the time, and he'd said that Martinez was basically told not to sign him by all the scout reports and went against it. The biggest thing for me is obviously we had the opportunity to sign Moussa Dembele for £5 million on the same day, and we signed Oumar Niasse instead, which for £8.5 million more, when Dembele's worth 45 odd million now playing for Lyon in the Champions League. So that, you know, it was a ridiculous signing, and I guess the red flags were all over the gaff early on. We signed them, rushed them through, well, got it done. We had Stoke away on the Saturday, he wasn't in the squad.
Yeah.
And then we introduced them against Newcastle, and he jogged around the pitch. Or he'd already been introduced against Newcastle, hadn't he? Sorry. Jogged around the pitch with his jeans on. Didn't make the Stoke squad. And then there was all reports that he's injured, and now he's got this wrist injury.
The wrist injury, one of the worst injuries you can get in football.
It is one of the worst injuries. And then obviously he come on the likes of Bournemouth in the FA Cup for 10 minutes. He come on a Villa. He come on against West Ham at home and that game. So it just didn't. When the man who's bought you doesn't seem to have any faith in you, there's an issue, isn't there?
I mean, the West Ham game was just amazing. You know, we know what happened. 2-0 up, end up losing 3-2. But that was the day I just...
Where was he for the FA Cup semi-final against United? Was he on the bench?
No idea.
Or was he injured?
I've no idea.
I'm trying to think, because he didn't come on, did he?
But for that game, certainly, the manager brought him on. And I've never, ever witnessed this before in a football match. I generally haven't. A player run on the pitch and not have one idea what he was supposed to do. Not one idea. And not even... I've seen players run on the pitch and not have an idea, but then create something that they can do. Like, maybe they've run on and not understood the manager's instructions or whatever. So they just do what's natural to them, which is to just find the position and just play in it. And maybe it goes against what the manager wants. Moise Keane at Old Trafford. But they try and do something where he run on the pitch and he run into the places where the ball never ever was. Like, it was unbelievable. And it was the fact that Martinez brought him on and we were down to 10 men and suddenly we were down to 9 men and we ended up losing the game and he was hopeless, absolutely hopeless.
What he should have done that day, he took Aaron Lennon off, who'd kept Cresswell in his own half, and we were comfortable. And so when he brought him on that day, he should have took Lukaku off. If you were bringing a striker on, who's gonna, when you're only playing one up front and you're trying to hang on, you'd bring a striker on for a striker. If you want to put a striker on and go, listen, go up there, stand between them two centre-backs, chase everything, don't give them a second. That's all the instruction you need. Putting them on, I don't know where he was supposed to play.
He was awful.
And you know what though, I don't blame him for that. It's the manager who done it, because he got put on in a position where I don't think the manager knew where he wants him to play. If he wants him to play right wing, why are you putting him on?
I think it was just a chance to just get him on the pitch. And he did something same he did it at Villa as well. Remember the Villa game?
Yeah, we were 3-0
up. And then he put him on.
And then
they scored, then they nearly scored again, and it was almost like, he didn't have a clue and it was just like, I'll bring him on when we're winning in games just to get him going.
I mean, that was the bad side. He did, obviously then Koeman come in, and Koeman
bombed him.
Made a decision after a couple of days of training that he would never play, he wasn't going to be in his options. And he was bombed out, obviously. He went out to... He obviously ended up playing for the 23s and done well for Unser, scored a lot of goals, and he went off to Hull and scored against Liverpool in one of the greatest internet thing. No, at home it was. They beat them 2-1, he scored, didn't he? But he beat them 2-1 in the League Cup, didn't he? But he was out at Old Trafford. He obviously scored against Liverpool, and we saw the Redmen's, the greatest internet sensation. And he had a good end to the season with Marco Silva, funnily enough, and then... Obviously, the next summer, Koeman still bombed him up, but ended up having to play him because he couldn't get a striker. And for a few games, he done well for us. He
scored against Sunderland, then he scored
2 against Bournemouth, which won us the game. We were 1-0 down. Scored at Palace, and then was ended up getting, through no fault of his own, really got suspended for 2 games because for a dive that wasn't a dive. The referee even come out and said, "I've seen it again. It was a penalty." And we were gutted he was out because he just had a little bit of a run, and it was like, well, he's all right.
Well, he'd scored. He came on against Watford, didn't he? Didn't he come on against Watford when we were 2-0 down?
Yeah.
Sort of helped turn the game
he
round.
Scored
because he was running around like a lunatic. He scored that goal against Arsenal when we were getting beat 5-2 as well.
That was his.
And he had that like he didn't have a clue what he was doing, but he had like a never say die attitude almost to things, even though he didn't have a clue what he was doing. And you're right, when he got suspended, we were like, oh, he's been good form, and then...
Well, Unsworth was in charge then, wasn't he? Yeah. Obviously, he got the goal against Arsenal, much to, the 2 against Bournemouth, Koeman wasn't happy that he'd scored, was he? Because he made him look a bit stupid. Yeah. And then obviously we had a couple of things, then Koeman was sacked. He scored the last goal of Koeman's reign, which was ironic, really, wasn't it? Against Arsenal. And then Unsworth took over, and obviously Unsworth knew him because he'd had him in the 23s, and Tom Davis was finding him and all that. And he was all right for a few games, and you're right, he scored a very important goal in that, the 3-2, which was a massive win, if you remember. Yeah. I mean, we should have had, I suppose, some warning signs from Marco Silva there, 2-0 up and cruising. He got some important goals, and he did, and then he got the suspension that we didn't need it. He got it the wrong time. By the time the suspension was up, Allardyce was in charge.
And we'd won 2 games.
And we won a couple of games, so he was sub again, wasn't he? And he was back out, and Dom come in and was doing very well. But he still ended up getting a few goals in the second half of the season. I remember he come on for Tosin against West Brom at home and scored within about 30 seconds or something. And I think he got one on the last day of the season down at West Ham, which was a good goal as well, to be fair. So he's got something, Niasse. He's some kind of threat.
Because he's so random.
Because he's random. He's a bit like a crapper version of Paulo One-Shot, is that you just don't know what he's going to do. And he runs around.
He ended up with 9 goals in 39 games. He played 39 games in 4.5 years.
Yeah, okay.
So, you know, he's got like a 1 and 4. Just over. No, but listen.
When we needed him, he was there, and that's the way it is.
And that's the way.
He's not going to go down as one of the great.
It comes down to a manager buying him, or a manager, you know, Roberto Martinez again though, and you know, when you look at I look at the managers who buy them, not necessarily the.
You know what makes me laugh is when people and everyone's entitled to their own opinion. Everyone sees it differently, and this is just my opinion. But when people say, I think we should have given Martinez a bit longer. And you look at Aidan McGeady, you know, you look at what he did to John Stones, turned him from being a good, like a Holgate now, into being this kid that thought he could do whatever he wanted and has never recovered from it. You know, he's even playing for one of the best managers in the world and he still hasn't recovered from it. That bit of that might be on Stones, I get that as well. You know, but them kind of plays. But Sammy Eto'o in and tried to play him as a left winger. You know,
there was a few. It was falling out with Delafeu and
falling out.
No, listen.
But
I think we sort of saw him.
Funes Mori.
Oh my God!
Instead of Van Dijk.
Just don't.
Yeah, but they're the choices though. Virgil van Dijk wants to come to Everton. I want to come. I want to join. 11 million quid. I'll buy this fella from Argentina that's never played here for 9.5 million instead.
It's almost like something is going on.
And we had to pay 800 grand on top of that to get the other kid who was waltzed out the door, Leandro Rodriguez.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So combined, it was
I think with Niasse, I think we saw this season when he came on against Newcastle, when we were cruising in the game, and I think, you know, him...
The one when he broke and he just needed to chase it and he fell over.
He just run into the corner with it and and the game was over.
They got the goal from him.
No, I know, because he threw himself in. Listen... Not a very good footballer. He'll probably go to Turkey now. What makes it worse is all these players have made money, make a lot of money off us, and that's what makes it even worse. So, there you go.
That's not his fault.
It's not his fault. You offer these people stupid.
I think to be fair to Oumar Niasse, he's always given 100% for everything.
Oh,
always.
Listen, 100%.
He's not great.
100%.
He hasn't. He's given everything. It's not. I wouldn't sit here and the same with Cuco Martina. I can't sit here and go, you know, what he got on, he walked around, he didn't care. He just wasn't up to our level, but I wouldn't accuse him of being unprofessional or anything like that.
Right, let's talk about 3 players who are still at the club, who've still got contracts, whose loans have all ended. Mo Besic didn't extend his deal at Sheffield United. Due to apparently wanted more money or something.
Shouldn't have let his agent anywhere near.
And he's come back and he can't play. No. And there's no future for him at Everton, is there?
No, you know what though? If he was in the squad now, I think I'd play him alongside Gomez. He'd certainly have a go, I think, because I think it's the state of our midfield. And Tom is struggling, and Sigurdsson is Gylfi Sigurdsson. I think Besic would get a little bit of a go at the minute, but then. In the summer, when everything is equal, he's another one. He's been here, and we signed him in 2014 after the World Cup. He signed an extension, didn't he? And you got offered an improved contract because, again, Martinez. But he did have, and I've seen people saying this, and it's right. He did have those good few months, and we all thought, actually, the pennies dropped, and he's really good. He was brilliant. He was brilliant against Manchester City and Yaya Toure when he was at his best, and he had some good
Manchester City away when we drew 0-0.
City away, he's had some good performances for Everton. The problem with Besic is whenever he's got on a good run, he's ended up getting an injury, and that's knocked him back. Now he's been fit for a while. He's played at Borough and he's played at Sheffield United. But
so, hang on, what we'll do with all three of these, we'll just, if we can't get rid of him, right, do you think we could find a use for him? And the reason why I'm thinking about this is, right, I've been watching sort of like James McCarthy recently and thinking, maybe we got rid of him too quickly. Maybe we should have looked at the bigger picture and looked at what we had, and maybe didn't fit into the manager's plans as such. But who else have we got that's like him? If
there's a
you know,
problem.
obviously we had Garner, so that's one of the reasons McCarthy went.
Well, we just bought Garbutt.
Yeah, no, I know, but
That was the reason why he went, wasn't it?
but you know, and that's what I'm saying. That's why the reason he didn't play. But I'm saying, so do you think there's any future for him if we can't get rid of him? Do you think the manager might look at it slightly different now and go, well, if I can't get rid of you, I will give you a chance. And I think that's the whole point with these three players.
Yeah.
So do you think with Mo Besic and looking at the squad and looking at the short window, do you think there's any way back for him?
He's got 12 months on a deal. I guess the question is, has he got quality, Besic? And he's got some quality. Is he good enough to play alongside Andre Gomez in the season? Is what you've got to ask. Because Everton, the big problem Besic has got, and the other two are slightly different to Besic. The big problem Besic has got, or Everton have got, is that we've got Andre Gomez, who is clearly our number one centre midfield player, because we haven't really got anybody else like him. So he's going to be the fella who will play more often than not, right? And you put Gomez in a category on his own, because when Andre Gomez isn't there, is there anybody else in Everton's midfield that does the same kind of thing as him, controls the way we play, keeps the ball, whatever? No, right? Gylfi, no, they can't do that. So then if you're thinking Everton are playing a 4-4-2, so your left midfielder is Andre Gomez, then on the right you've got Tom Davies, who is like that. You've got Gylfi Sigurdsson, who, let's be honest, I think Everton would take, and if they got a bid for him, I think they'd accept it, because he's not a central midfield player, not in the Premier League, in a position where his partner isn't Garner, or his partner's not someone who's going to go like this all day long. Delph got a manager saying he doesn't know when he's going to be fit, and it's been, let's be honest, it hasn't worked out at all. It's been poor, and it could have been the other way. And they're the main three. Garbutt, we write off till January at least, at the earliest. So for Besic, is he different than the three we've already got? He knows the role because he's played there. He's a good man-to-man marker. But Everton, as a team, for this Everton team to evolve, needs someone that can go both ways and run up and down with the ball. Is he that? No.
I think he lacks discipline.
And there's that.
And I think if he played, I think if he had the qualities we needed, I think Chris Wilder would have played in Sheffield United. Because I just don't think he's got the discipline to play in a next to someone like Andre Gomez, where you again know what he's going to do. I think
or if he hasn't got the discipline, mate, has he got the pace to get up and down the pitch? That's what you need to ask yourself.
I'll be honest. I think the jury for me is slightly out on this one, because I think if you can't get rid of him, I'm not saying you're wouldn't like use him, but I'd definitely like have him certainly next season training with, like, I wouldn't just kick him out the door and go, well, and we've done this with players in the past, where it's like, you're not playing, so therefore you do something else. Well, if we can't get a loan for him or whatever, and listen, we really just want to get these players out the door. Of course we can. Those we do, sorry. But if he wasn't, I would definitely have him somewhere in there. But does that block the path of a Benny Beningame? I don't know, because I don't know what they think of Benny Beningame, truly. So it's a difficult one with Mo Besic, but don't get me wrong, I don't think he's going to come back and he's going to be like, oh, he's on one. I just think if the way things are at the moment...
Yeah, well, we might end up doing that. If Everton don't get a good enough deal to take him off their hands, then maybe he will. And if he impresses in pre-season with the new coaching staff, that's up to him.
Certainly if you give these people a chance. Sandro, he's done nothing in Spain. Absolutely nothing.
And ironically, this is his best season. 3 goals this season in 22 games, I think it is, for them. He's played on the right for us and done all right, but is he better?
He's not a goal scorer.
But he's not doing whatever he had in that when he had that season for Malaga. It's gone, hasn't it?
I suppose the only way to look at it, and we're clutching at straws here, is, well, with Niasse gone, could he be the fourth choice? I mean, obviously...
And if he played in a 4-4-2 with Dominic Calvert-Lewin...
Could he be fourth choice striker? Because obviously now, Cenk Tosun's out, and we're trying to get rid of him anyway. Niasse is gone. So suddenly, if he came back, he'd be fourth choice, but probably wouldn't make the bench. So if we couldn't get, again, like Besic, if you couldn't get rid of him, would you just have to have him training every day, just in case one of the other strikers wasn't fit, and then, you know, Moise Keane at the moment he'd go into the team, or, you know, and then Sandro would go on the bench because you wouldn't need a centre forward coming off the bench. Because I do think that the gap between the people who are coming through, like the likes of Ellis Sims, is still quite big. So,
well, he's got more experience than Ellis Sims.
There's an outside chance, isn't there?
He's another one. If you can't get rid of him, he's our player, and he's still our player for 2 seasons, whether people like that or not. You can't. I've seen people go and just kick him out. You can't. There's FFP, there's contract obligations and all that. Fourth choice striker, it's up to him, isn't it? He did very well in pre-season. In Silva's first year, I think it was, wasn't it? On the right wing.
Yeah.
Didn't he? Last year, I know he never got used at all. But because Everton had made a decision. I guess it depends what Marcel Brands thinks. Marcel Brands has looked at him and has gone, after that first pre-season, he's not good enough, and I want him gone. Then they'll try to farm him out somewhere else. Who's to say Valladolid won't come in and buy him in the summer if Everton go, I'll tell you what, you can have him for $1 million.
Yeah, or even someone else.
Or someone else in Spain just go.
Might come back, might he? Seville might come back or something and go, well, if it's a cheap...
They're a bit good.
No, I know, but for like a cheap deal, they might go...
Ibar or someone
for a couple of, you know, obviously his wages are the big problem, and he's not gonna shift. Now, for me, like, listen, you do everything you can to get rid of him. Worst case scenario is he becomes the new Niasse.
23, isn't he?
Yeah, he becomes the new Niasse, which is, you know, a player you're trying to get rid of, you can't, so you use him when you need to use him. And again, that's the same with Besic, if that happens to Besic. You try everything you can to get rid of him, and if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. And the final one, Yannick Bolassi's put a little thing out today to Sport and saying, you know, thank you, it's about his time, but now he wants to come back. And recently, we've mentioned this recently, he has been like trying to get himself back in the good books of Everton fans, and, you know, doing the going around on his bike and getting stuck into Liverpool fans a little bit and trying to get it. Whereas before that, he'd been a little bit funny with Everton fans and a little bit, like, you know, more leaning towards Palace. I don't know whether he thought he was something still there for him, but again, he's a player that goes into his last year of his contract. Again, since the injury, he's gone on. Obviously, was brought back too early by Allardyce. He's gone on loans. He's, you know, like to Villa. He went to Anderlecht. He's been at Sporting in Portugal, but it's never quite worked for him anywhere he's gone. And again, coming back to his final year at Everton, the plan will be the same, won't it? Try and find a club for him, try and get him off the books. I know he's saying he wants to come back, he wants to play, but again, that seems even though certainly on the right hand side, there's a gap. There's a gap there. He's not the player to fill it, surely.
Not what we'd seen after the injury. I think when he come in from Palace, I think he was decent. He had 5 assists before his injury. He seemed to have a decent little partnership with Rom. I know they were friends and all that. They got on well. And then obviously had a horror injury and was out for a year. And then you're right, Allardyce brought him back too quickly. Didn't really work. You know, he played games that he shouldn't have really played when we had Ademola Lookman. And then he went off obviously to Villa in the hope that he'd get some game time, and then we'd assess him when he's had a year back at playing at a club. And he had a good time in Anderlecht, and they wanted to keep him, but it was just the money. Didn't have any money, and got 6 goals in 27 games or something for Anderlecht. He's only played, I think he's played 22 games for Everton or something, or 29 times for Everton.
He was actually doing well for Sporting Lisbon until
He
got sent off.
And then he got sent off.
He got sent off for an elbow that was never an elbow.
And then
they just sort of bombed him out after that. So
he's got something. I don't know whether he's good enough for the Premier. No, he's a powerful player. He's quite quick.
I don't know if he has got that power anymore, though. I think that's the problem.
Well, I've not watched him religiously since he left us, so I wouldn't be able to tell you that. I've seen him have these flashes where he's done well, tricks that he's always got, and I think I've said it always about Balassi. If he simplified his game, he'd be a much better player. The tricks are great, but use them to actually get away from someone. Don't just use them because you're trying to fifi yourself off, which he started trying. I think that was his biggest thing when he come back. He started trying to do tricks to show everyone he was back, but he wasn't back because the tricks weren't going nowhere.
They were dead slow.
And a couple of times he'd do it and the player would just be looking at us to say, and what? You do a trick to buy your half a yard. Yeah. That's all you do. So I'm unsure. It's good that he's got this attitude. It's good that he's going, I want to wear the blue shirt again. I want to fight. He's probably looking and going, this is Carlo Ancelotti. I'd love to play under this manager, even if it's for 12 months and then I leave on a free. I think from an Everton perspective, they'll be looking and going, no, we want you out the door. We want to get you off the wage bill because you're not part. The problem with all of these is none of them contribute to our team and they're all taking money out the door. And that's the issue that brands will have. We've now got rid of Niasse, we've now got rid of Garbutt, we've got rid of Cuco Martina, Morgan Schneiderlin's gone. There's 4 off the wage bill. It's a big chunk of money that's gone off the wage bill. And brands will be trying to get rid of Matty Pennington. There's the likes of Callum Connolly, who I don't think has got much of a hope here. He's got a year left on his deal. Who was out on loan as well. They'll want those 2 gone. The only one really who's out on loan who they probably want to keep, do want to keep is Lewis Gibson, who's doing well at Fleetwood. Kieran Dowell's just come back and is playing at Wigan, but I don't think they want to. No, I think they'll want to get rid of Kieran Dowell now because he's made no inroads and is on a decent wage.
And John Joe, the plan was always.
And obviously, John Joe has had the best loan. He's gone to a top league in one of the top 5 leagues and played all season. It remains to be seen whether Everton think he's good enough or he isn't good enough. But he's given himself half a chance.
That was the career path, wasn't it? That was the plan. Exactly. The plan was to send him on loan and bring him back and then evaluate him. Whereas
these are different.
These have already served the purpose or haven't served the purpose in a way. So I
don't know. Maybe. Why I said the other 2 were different to Bezic is there is a big gap on that right hand side. Dependent now, Everton and I'm sure Carlo Ancelotti will be sitting with Marcel Brands and going, I want a proper winger, a new winger who's quick and can get goals and blah blah blah. And we're not privy to that at the moment.
The situation's interesting though, isn't it? Because when the season finished, there's going to be 5 weeks. There's going to be 5 weeks from the end of this season to the beginning of the next season. Pre-season's going to be, they're going to be back in pre-season 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks at the very, very most.
After the one's finished,
so these players will be called back for pre-season. Will be called back for testing if they haven't already. If they haven't left the club, they'll be called back to testing. They'll be there for. The manager will. It's a good thing and a bad thing for them that the manager will have to see them, but he won't have long to see them. So he'll have to assess them very quickly, and he's always going to assess them as an afterthought after the players that he already knows. But at the same time, the fact that Martin is still being around the squad, Niasse is still being around the squad, gives these an outside chance to force the way in. And then it's on them. Of course, we'll be trying to get rid of them. But then, that's up to them, isn't it? And all you can ask is they come back, fight for the place. And, if we can't get rid of them, then there's an option there at the very least. And maybe they can earn the money at least. Even if they're just training.
No, but that's what it is, isn't it? It's about that. It's about, if you're paying someone, then you may as well get them to do something. And that's the way it is. My only question to finish would be, do any of them offer us something we don't have at the moment?
No.
And that's for us, for Everton to improve, you're looking for something you haven't got at the moment.
There's no sentiment. We want them all bombed out the club, clearly, but...
And that's what Marcel Brands will be doing, won't he?
There you go. Let us know your thoughts. Give us your reactions, your memories of the players who've left the club. Does Oumar, the Sweet Prince, hold a special place in your heart? Let us know. And for the other three, do you see anything in those other three players that, you know, makes you think, yeah, they could do something next season. They could contribute to this squad. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. If you like this video, give it a like. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you want more great videos, join us over on Patreon. The link is in the description. We'll see you later.